Okay, fire away. Questions?
Thoughts on the all-conference selections?
You know, I was just really disappointed, miffed, stunned that Jordan Adams wasn't on the all-freshman team. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I felt hurt, sad, stunned, miffed. I mean, if ever there was a kid, you know, he's 8th leading scorer in the conference on the year. He leads the conference in steals in conference games, 3rd overall. He's our best wing defender. He's made so. I was just watching our, you know, we don't know if we're playing ASU or Stanford, so I'm watching the ASU game last night that we played, and I'm watching Stanford stuff tonight. You know, he made so many big shots during the year for us. I mean, he's part of you know, Pac-12 championship team. I mean, if ever, I mean, I put him for all league. He was nominated for all league, and I really appreciate Sean Miller's quotes today that I saw that were shared with me, that he was equally stunned he didn't make the all-freshman team, that he voted for him for all league. So I appreciate that. And I always take, when I'm doing, I take the voting for these kids very seriously and wait until the conference is completely over. I mean, some people are already putting in their ballots, returning their ballots before the conference is even completed, which, you know, I don't relate to. But that being said, I thought that that was really an injustice. I was very happy for both Larry and for Shabazz and for Kyle to all be named to Pac-12 all-conference. I was, you know, felt very good about Shabazz being named player of the year for the incoming freshman. You know, all that's nice, and it's all about how your team does. I did remind our team that the coaches voted Russell Westbrook 3rd team all-league in March of the same year. That 3 months later he was the 4th pick in the draft. You know, so you take everything with a grain of salt.
Surprised that Shabazz didn't get the player of the year. You talked Saturday.
Well, you know, Larry could have been a candidate as well, and that's what, you know, one of our coaches said. And typically, what I do is I always look to the winning team, so that's why I wait until the season's over, because I always think that, you know, a player are #1 evaluated on making your team win. And when you hear about the talk of the all-time greats, it's all about Jordan has 6, Kobe has 5, LeBron has 1. For me, Bill Russell has 11 plus 2 at USF. That's why, you know, I've said before, it's Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you know, Magic, Jordan, and Kobe is my all-time greats. It's all about making your team win. And so that's like, for example, I voted for Tarzewski for the all-freshman team from Arizona, because he started every game on a team that's 13 in the RPI and you know, getting a bye in our league. But you know, the bottom line is it's what your team does that's most important, and our players understand that.
What are the challenges of going into a 3 games and 3 nights scenario?
Well, just take it one game at a time. I mean, we hope it becomes 3 games and 3 nights, but you know, we've got to get past our first opponent. So we will start practice tomorrow at 1:15, stretching, start shooting and some offensive work sets-wise around 2, and then hopefully the game's over by 2:15 and we know who we're playing, so that when we get to how we're going to defend our opponent, we actually know it's either going to be Arizona State or Stanford. And you know, they played one time, Stanford won at Tempe in a very tight, contested game. Gage had a great first half. I think he had 14. Stanford played fantastic, which you have to do to win on the road, especially down there. They had a very good home campaign this year. I think they were 17-2 or something like that. No, they were 15-4, hard place to win down in Tempe.
Then the loss at Pullman, where do you put that in terms of, thinking that maybe this team has peaked at the right time, and then you have that loss there? What are you thinking about that?
In what context again?
Well, do you feel, I want to ask you, do you feel like this team has come together and sort of peaked at the right time?
Well, I think if you look at our team, how we played here down the stretch, and we bounced back from tough defeats, during the course of our season at Cal, to turn around and then win at Stanford, win at SC, and beat the Arizonas at home. To lose such a crucial game on the road Wednesday night, where we really, and again, you don't cover us regularly. I take full responsibility for how poorly we played Wednesday. Part of it was that when Travis got hurt the day before we played SC at SC, for about a 2-week period, we didn't have any contact in practice. Because I just didn't feel like, we already got a guy out, and we get someone else out, now we're down to 6 guys. And so it's very hesitant, and that really weakens you, and you play how you practice. We had our best practice of 2013 on Friday in Seattle, and that directly correlated to how we performed and played the next day, and with the toughness that is necessary to win against a good team on their home floor. So, that being said, there's no more days off of practice around here. If someone gets hurt, they're going to get hurt, and they get hurt, and someone else will just going to play. Because I think ultimately that we got fortunate to get through a few of those games where I was doing that.
That's fine.
Okay.
What is your thought if you win 2 or 3 games this week, where you should be seated in the tournament?
Why don't you turn that off for him, Nick? You can do that.
Just sledgehammer.
Please.
The Wile E. Coyote.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. But let's wait for Chris, so he doesn't.
That was a question.
I don't want to wait for Chris. He might use it.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
If you win 2 or 3 games this week, play well this week, where do you think you should be seated in the NCAA?
You know what? I'm not even going to venture to guess that. What we need to do is take care of what we can control, and that is our game at noon on Thursday, and then move forward from that point. And whatever happens, happens. I mean, such a our goal obviously is to win the conference tournament. I think if we did that, it would give us a good chance to be seated in the West. I'm more worried, concerned that we get seated closer to home than I am 4, 5, 3, 6, whatever we are, if we win out. But, we control that based on how we perform.
How's that affecting you guys are considered kind of a lock to make the tournament, as opposed to some other team that might need to win this Pac-12 tournament?
Well, there's 5 teams in our league that are locked to get in the tournament. I don't think there's anybody, of the teams who received by plus Colorado that aren't already in. That's a done deal no matter what they do. But you still have the potential for another team to win the tournament, which means they're going to have to win 4 games in 4 days, which Colorado did a year ago. And in my opinion, the teams that have the best chance to do that, this is one of the 2 teams we're going to play, the winner of that Stanford-Arizona State game. Those 2 teams, if you look at RPI, you look at what they've done, they're the closest to being that 6th team out of our league. So we know that we're playing a team on Thursday at noon that is playing with that exact mindset, that they have to win this game to get in the tournament. And that's kind of how ASU was when we played them here the last time. Lenardi had them first last team out, last team in, first team out, whatever it was at the time. So it's just, now it's even more heightened by the fact that, it's pretty clear. You got to win the tournament if you want to go to the NCAA. So that's what we're going to see. And that's, what makes these tournaments so compelling.
Is there a danger that one of those 5 teams that are a lock might not get in if someone...
No, I don't feel that way. I think that they're all locked, like I said, regardless what happens.
Coach, what are some of the difficulties that could come with young players returning home? to play like Shabazz will do this weekend?
Oh, I think he'll be fine. You know, we have players that live here in LA, and they're at home. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think it'll be exciting for him. You know, he's returning home the conquering hero. He led his team to the Pac-12 championship in the regular season. He's a projected lottery pick. He's a freshman of the year in the conference. But nothing that's amazing for anybody there. They've seen this kid all his life.
Think it might motivate him even more, being in front of that?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun for him, being at home.
Your thoughts on moving the tournament on LA?
I think it's a great move. I think that everything that Larry Scott's doing has been absolutely well thought out and thoughtful and very, very smart. You know, people want to go to Vegas. I mean, when I was in the Big East at Pitt, everybody was so excited about the Big East tournament because you're going to New York City. I mean, you know, there's plays, there's restaurants, there's things to do. You know, Vegas has got, there's nightlife, and there are all the things that so many adults enjoy. I mean, people love to go to Vegas. It's going to be a happening. This ticket in this league, 3 years from now, will be one of the most difficult tickets in the country to get. It's going to be, you know, people are going to get you, and that's what you have to have. I've always believed, I've said this before, you got to have it at the same place every year. You got to have Vegas every year. People are going now, you know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they're used to going, they've been going every year, they can't wait to go. It's so much fun. Even if our team loses, we can just hang out and, you know, have fun in Vegas. We don't have to worry about, you know, changing our flight to come back early. Honey, I had to stay, or it cost more to change my ticket. You know, it's going to turn into a total happening, for sure. And for us, you know, hey, we're not in LA, but everybody's used to driving over there. And, you know, 15, 20 years from now, how that rail in by now, we'll be able to just hop on the speed rail. So I think it's a great thing. I couldn't be happier.
Since this is a town where adults can go do things adults can do, are there any rules you're going to employ with your team?
It's just the same old, same old. I mean, we're very structured with our time. Our guys aren't going to be running around hanging out in casinos right now. We're on a business trip. But for our fans and the families of the players and all the people that come to enjoy the different activities that are available in Las Vegas, both for adults and kids, it'd be great.
So you don't feel any need to institute a rule about staying away from the tables or reminding them to stay away from the tables?
Well, I mean, if you're 21, you can, you know, pull a lever. If you're not, you can't.
And could you talk a little bit about the journey that Muhammad has been on from the beginning of the year to not even knowing what was going to happen to now where he's one of the best players in the league?
Yeah, it's been an incredibly, you know, adverse ride. You know, not only because of the issues with the NC2A, but also just all the injuries he's sustained. You know, from his ankle in the summertime, which kept him out for over 2 months, to his shoulder early in the season, which, you know, God, I was so afraid it was like a torn labrum after it happened. You know, his pink eye to his groin. I mean, it's been, you know, issue after issue. And they have to deal with the uncertainty of not knowing when they're going to clear you or what's going to happen. He handled it so well. I mean, he's such a great kid and such a wonderful family. You know, I mean, their family are really, really close, and they're very nice people. And you know, both Ron and Faye are from Southern California, and, you know, very successful people and great parents. And all 3 kids are wonderful kids.
Is there anything particularly you've taken from or learned from coaching a team that is so young? It's kind of prone to maybe slip up sometimes, like Washington State or other games during the season?
Yeah, it's, you know, anytime you have youth, you know, you have things that they're learning for the first time. I mean, we're taking kids that have never been to Pullman, never been to Seattle, never been, it's all first-time experiences. So, you know, they've done a great job. I mean, but there's always adversity in the season. I mean, you know, we're here in LA, so it's dramatized even more because we're in the land of Hollywood. We're in the land of the Lakers and the Clippers. And, you know, just all the drama that takes place within professional sports. I think when you're a college team and a team that is very much a pro town, I think there's a definite carryover to how kids are treated. You know, this is not the same level of scrutiny or drama probably at a college town as it is in this town. So they get used to it.
Why do you feel this team has been able to step up in the big moments? You know, the games against...
Because we have real good players and they're very competitive and they're used to winning. We talked about coming in, you know, Tony Parker, 4 straight state championships. Kyle Anderson, 93-1 in high school. Jordan Adams was like 86-2 in high school. Shabazz, you know, multiple state championships and, you know, used to win. They're used to winning. Wares from modern day, they're used to winning. Larry Drew, you know, Taft High School, used to winning. You know, so that's the bottom line. They're real good players. And Norman Powell, his high school team, really good high school team, used to winning.
And where's this, considering all the adversity you went through, Boston in the season, you lost 2 players in the middle of the season, where's this championship rank for you?
Oh, they're all special. Someone asked that up in Seattle, I can't remember who, but everyone's special that you win as a coach, because this is something, you know, and you know, the regular season's over now we're on to the funnest part of the year, but in terms of winning a conference championship, that's something that those kids will all share the rest of our lives. And you don't have perspective on that as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, but when they're 40, you know, it'll be fun for them to be able to really reflect upon how special it is. I think that you know, the reflecting part is years down and years away. To really appreciate it. It's like you see this, when you have our former players come back and they're around, and there's just so much joy in their hearts because this was the greatest time of their life, being a part of this program and playing for Coach Wood and playing for the different coaches, for Cunningham or Larry, all the different players that come back, you know, for Coach Eric. But all those guys growing up, and when you come back, you don't appreciate how special it is until you're older and you get a chance to look back and reflect. It's like, wow, that was unbelievably special, you know. So it's always wonderful.
That's the same for you? Would you not be able to look back and appreciate it?
No, I appreciate it more. That's why, because I am, you know, 55 years old. I have a little more perspective, and also, you know, the appreciation of going through tough years and then bouncing back and getting a championship does make it special. You know, in tough years, we've won 4 of the last 8 Pac-12 championships, and we finished second in 2 of the years that we didn't win. So, you know, it's been pretty good.
Do you feel like you've proven anything as a coach this year, just being able to win the Pac-12 title, or especially when you're relying on a lot of youth in your roster?
No, I mean, we expected to win. And that's how it is here. We expect to win it every year. I think our fans do too, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you touch on Kyle's season? There was a lot of speculation for when he came in, what kind of, you know, what role he would fill. He's got a lot of skills and a lot of size. So what have you been pleased with?
Well, I mean, you know, number one, he's a best rebounder, phenomenal rebounder. I mean, you look at how well he rebounds in basketball. It's incredible. His passing skills. I mean, he is. By the way, Jordan Adams, talking about him, Jordan Adams is also top 10 in free throw percentage. In conference games, Kyle has improved his free throw percentage where he's in the top 5, I think. He's in the top 5 or 6 in rebounding. He's in the top 10 in assist to turnover ratio and assists. I mean, he does so many things. He's really improving as a defensive player. So, you know, Kyle is an incredible talent who, you know, I think is going to really be a special player, you know, as he continues to develop his game. But he does so many things well. His feel for the game, as we talked about when he arrived here, is really incredible for a kid so young. And especially when you throw in that, you know, he's 6'9", with a 7-foot span, and he has such good passing skills and feel. It's really cool.
Are you going to handle player minutes at all differently, given just all the games you have crowded up this week?
We'll be similar. I mean, Norman goes in, and we need to get, a few more minutes, but yeah, we're trying to win it one game at a time. You keep acting like we're guaranteed 3 games. We're just trying to win the next game, whatever game it is. So we're treating it just how we would every other game. You're always time flow, different things that happen during the game, foul trouble, all those things. But yeah, we're just trying to win the next game.
You've had a lot of good point guards here. Did you expect Larry to be just as good a distributor, even better distributor than?
And I'm glad you brought that up, because no one even really asked me about it after the game up in Seattle. I mean, Larry Drew is now the all-time assist leader in the history of UCLA basketball for a single season. And that's in the same amount of games as Pooh. Pooh played 31, he played 31. Now he's going to build upon that record, because hopefully we have a number of games left in our season this year. But incredible what he's accomplished. And we talked about this early in the season, just how he was maligned and why, coming here. I would think that Larry has proved that he's very deserving of all the support and accolades that he's been given when he's been at UCLA. And happy for him. He graduates this quarter, so he will be a UCLA grad here in another few weeks, and I'm really proud of him and happy for him.
He says he wants to be an extension of you on the floor. Do you see that out there?
Absolutely. That's what a good point guard is. He's an extension of the coach on the floor, and very unselfish, very giving of himself. I think he's got a very bright future ahead of him, beyond college. He's going to make money playing basketball for a long time, in between his, rapping debuts.
Ben, how much of a rebound has the conference made this year after what was pretty bad last year?
A huge rebound, and it comes down to the players. We're starting 12 freshmen out of the 60 starters in this conference. And, you look at some of those freshmen, I mean, Artist, for example, got hurt. The 3 freshmen at Arizona, 2 kids at Oregon, the 2 kids at Colorado, having terrific years. There's a bunch of them, Tyrone Wallace at Cal. There's a lot of good players in this league. But the freshman class, I think, really boosted it, along with some good players returning. And, we've got good seniors, too. You look at Hill. Hill is a terrific player from Arizona. And, Felix has had a great year down at Arizona State. There's just some really good players in this league that are going to play a long time. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I mean, there's good coaches, no question, but you've got to have the good talent to make it all work.
We got time for one more question.